tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through, I've never got anyone's help.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I will be playing audio from Hey Kaz from the Lori Vallow trial. But first, I want to play something because I think it's crazy. It happened today, but I still want to play it. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you now. And I want you guys to tell me what you think about it because it is insane. But of course, it's Lori Vallow. So do we expect any more? I don't think so.
Courthouse, Boise, Idaho. This is the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. I got some breaking news for everyone. I'll wait for a few people to jump on board and I'll share with you what is going on.
Wait until you hear this. And I want you to tell me if you think this is real or fake. Do you think this is real? Well, I'm going to play it first and then I'm going to ask.
First, I guess drama, you could say, when it comes to the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. She had you could say a breakdown, and she is an emotional mess right now.
She was an emotional craphead person for years. Now she had this emotional breakdown. Most people are saying it's fake, of course, because it's Lori Vallow. What else do we expect from her? But then I'm thinking, is it real? Because she saw pictures of her children. Did she not know how they were did she not see when JJ was buried and Tylee was dismembered and burned? Did she not see this happening? And now that she's seeing it, it is actually getting to her.
Somewhere with her attorneys, after the testimony this morning of Detective Ray of the Rexburg Police Department, Lori Vallow Daybell was visually shaken, and she was seen hysterically crying and emotionally upset. And she was shaking, crying, and some media outlets are reporting that, they've been covering Lori Vallow Daybell, numerous cases, from previous.
Crying hysterically. I don't think we've seen that from her. She's usually a smarty pants with that grin she has.
Hearings or whatnot, and they've never seen her upset like this before. So something really got under her skin. I know that the detective was testifying all morning long about the crime scene where JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan were found. The detective and the prosecution, they submitted evidence of crime scene photos of the sites, like the holes, and very graphic pictures And the court actually warned everyone beforehand about these graphic pictures, saying if you can't stomach it, don't watch. And it seems like it either upset Lori Vallow Daybell, or she's playing a game. It could be possibly that she's also playing a game because she might know.
Do you think that seeing these pictures of the crime scene actually got to her?
The gig is up on her, so she might be this feigning emotional, outburst that she is doing. It could be just a game that she's playing. I don't know, an actress of something. But right now, she's consulting with her attorneys enough for them to call a break. Now,
An actress.
court is going to come back soon, but it was supposed to come at 12:45. That was the end of the lunch.
They actually paused the trial for Lori's attorneys to calm her down. More attention, and more things for people to talk about.
Lunch break, and just a couple minutes before court was about to start, prosecution and the defense everyone left the courtroom, and now the lawyers are with Lori Vallow Daybell. I don't know if all her lawyers or one of her lawyers, but she had a outburst, and she could be heard. People that are in the courtroom or attending it that were out in the hallway could hear her crying. Thank you, Crystal Ray. I appreciate that. They heard her crying. So this is the first kind of spicy drama going on with the case. What else is going to happen? I mean, is she, I had this feeling that something like this would start to happen. And
did you guys think that something like this would happen?
Probably we'll see other maybe outbursts. Maybe she'll just, I don't know. But as far as right now, she went crying and she's in a.
I was just thinking this trial is going to take longer than 8 weeks if she's going to have outbursts often.
Back room somewhere with her lawyers. Everything is put on hold for now. I was waiting for the lunch break. I was actually. Oh, and some other good news I got is they are releasing on a daily basis the audio of these court proceedings. The audio. So I am on the sign up. So every day, at the end of the day at the trial, they will the clerk of court will be providing journalists, probably the public too if they ask, or anyone audio tape of the day's testimony. So I'm uploading some videos now of yesterday's testimony. Stay tuned for that. And
if you're just coming in, Lori had an outburst in court today when the detective was on the stand and they showed the crime scene pictures. She had a mental breakdown.
And then, commentating and giving my own insight on what I see firsthand in the courtroom here in Ada County Courthouse. What's going on with Lori Vallow Daybell? I mean, whether she did it or not, which I feel she did, some might think she didn't. She was seen in court on a Jumbotron. She's seeing these photos. So she's seeing these photos of her child. So, is this a game she's playing with the courts where it gets back to the jury? I don't even know if the jury will even know that she, is having this emotional outbreak right now. But is it a ruse to say, all my children, I love my children, or, or she had buyer's remorse, regret? What's it about? Or reality is hitting her. Reality, she knows the gig is up. It was very powerful testimony by the detective, who seemed very fluent, very professional, very calm demeanor, very detailing about his describing Chad Daybell's property and what was found on him.
Okay, I just wanted you to hear the part where she had the mental breakdown. Now, do you want to hear the audio for 4 hours, or do you want to I can read the JLR's tweets. Let's see. We'll do that. It says it's up, but it's not up. Hold on one second. And while I'm in here, let me show you these photos from yesterday. The sketch artist. So this is a picture of Lori and her attorneys. Now, of course, we have not seen her in court ourselves, so we have to go by the sketch artist. And I don't think they look like her, but she is an excellent sketch artist. This is Kay when she was testifying, and that does look like Kay pretty much. Okay. All right, now we can see it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and read all of his tweets. He's pretty good at tweeting his stuff. So let's see. Jurors were just sworn in and judge read instructions which included a reminder to not read or watch anything about this case online, social media. Jurors in the trial are told they are allowed to take notes, but they must leave their notes at the courthouse each night. Usual instructions to not discuss the case with anyone or investigate this case on their own. Money, power, and sex. That's what this case is about. Prosecutor's opening line in the Vallow Daybell trial. Prosecutor says J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell were in the way of Lori getting what she wanted, which was money, power, and sex. Court is back in session after the mid-morning break. Prosecution called their first witness, Kay Woodcock, the grandmother of J.J. Jim Archibald's opening statement is concluded. He offered no alternate explanations to counter the litany of charges against Lori. Instead, he simply pointed out Lori's alibi during each of the murders. October 19th, 6 a.m., 911 was called after Tammy Daybell was found dead. Prosecutors say law enforcement later learned that Chad had moved her body. Relationship between Lori and Chad was unknown at the time, so Tammy's death was not initially deemed suspicious. Kay Woodcock was granted the right to attend the Lori Vallow trial after initially being barred due to being a witness in the case. Lori Vallow is dressed in black. She has her blonde hair down, and she is wearing dark frame glasses. J.J. Vallow's birth name was Cannon and was changed to Joshua Jackson Vallow, which J.J., when Kay Woodcock's brother Jay Vallow and then wife Lori adopted him in 2013. He was born 10 weeks early with drugs in his system. Kay Woodcock says when she first met Lori, she seemed like a great mother who was a hard worker and involved in church. Charles and Lori wanted a child together, so they were happy to adopt JJ. After March 2019, Kay Woodcock stopped going to Arizona since Charles Vallow moved to Houston. Living in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Kay was able to drive to Houston to care for JJ when Charles needed to travel for work. I forgot what he did for a living. April 2019, Lori went to Houston with Charles and JJ. During that time, Lori frequently traveled back and forth between the Phoenix area and Houston. In June 2019, Charles secured a home for Lori in Chandler, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix. Hey, Alexis. Hey, Freeside. Okay. Kay Woodcock states she only had contact with J.J. Vallow 3 times after Charles Vallow's death. They normally FaceTimed, and one call was odd because it appeared that someone taller than J.J. seemed to be holding the phone for him. During her last FaceTime call with J.J., Kay stated that again. It appeared that someone was holding the phone for J.J. He only said hello to Kay and Larry, and then he abruptly said goodbye because he had to go. A 35-second call. Defense objected to the prosecution not disclosing all conversations they've had with witnesses. Prosecution says this is not a valid objection. Judge overrules. So what happened here was Kay said Okay, Kay had a paper of numbers, what had 2 of Lori's phone numbers on it. And it was on a printed, regular printed sheet of copy paper. And when the prosecution asked Kay the phone numbers, she asked if she could get the paper to look at the numbers to, you know, remind herself what the numbers were. So the judge allowed, she gets her paper, and then some kind of way she gets asked about the paper and where she got it from. And she said the prosecution team, she emailed someone and they printed it out for her. And that's why the defense objected, because Kay had contact with prosecution and it wasn't turned over to the defense. All right, let's see. Now they're on lunch break. This is the picture I showed of Lori and her attorneys. Brandon Boudreaux on October 2nd, 2019, someone parked in front of my house and took a shot at me. Brandon says he and Melanie started. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Brandon Boudreaux on the stand now. He was the husband of Lori's niece, Melanie. Brandon says he and Melanie started having problems when his grandfather died in summer 2019. She refused to attend the funeral. She said she had a revelation from God that she didn't feel safe with him and accused him of being a homosexual. They divorced. Court has resumed and Kay Woodcock is back on the stand. She is the grandmother of J.J. Vallow. Judge has called for the afternoon break. Judge rules that the Brandon Boudreaux evidence can be included, but he cautions the state that if sufficient evidence isn't proven during this trial, there will be an issue with his testimony having been heard by the jury. And here is the picture of Kay testifying, and Lori, it sure does look like she has a smile on her face. Let's see. Maybe that's that grin she has. Brandon Boudreaux states on the morning of October 2nd, 2019, he took his kids to school and then went to the gym. He returned home and saw a Jeep Wrangler with Texas license plates sitting outside his house. There was no tire on the back, and the back window was open. He saw a gun out the back window, and the next thing he knew, a shot fired and his driver's side window shattered. His phone flew forward and dialed 911. He saw the Jeep come back around the corner, and his instinct was to follow it, but 911 told him not to. Brandon states he recognized the Jeep as being similar to one that Charles Vallow had bought for Tylee. He had the VIN number from insurance work he did previously for Charles. While doing research in his past emails with Charles Vallow, he noticed the name Chad Daybell on some of the emails. He Googled him and found an obituary for Tammy Daybell. He also notes that both JJ and Tylee had been missing for a while at this point. Tylee Ryan's birth certificate is entered into evidence. A photo of Tylee from her Instagram is also entered into evidence, despite the defense objecting it to be admitted. A picture of Tylee, you're objecting it? The photo of Tylee Ryan is shown to the jury. It's a close-up headshot photo of Tylee as a teen looking directly into the camera. Her long blonde hair is down in the photo. Brian Boudreaux testifies he believes it was on or about October 21st when he first learned of Tammy Daybell's death. It was while speaking with police about this and his attempted shooting case that he realized something was very wrong. No one had heard from the kids. Brandon is asked about a video of him dancing at a place called Pink Pony posted to Facebook, which Melanie pointed to as evidence of his homosexuality. What is Pink Pony? It's a bar, I guess. Pink Pony. Brandon saw the gun and silencer in the back of the Jeep, but he was unable to get the license plate. He had the VIN of the Jeep because he helped Charles Vallow with the insurance. Charles Vallow sent emails to the entire family and shared his concerns about Lori and her relationship with Chad Daybell. Since Brandon Boudreaux was part of the extended family, He was included on those emails. Hey, Tabatios, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Court is adjourned for the day. That took a whole 20 minutes. Let's see what's going on just for today since this has happened. Brandon Boudreaux testimony against Lori Vallow daily recap. Y'all can follow JL or Investigates. Let's see what these are. If I can play them.
Oh, do you?
You think Lori's going to take the stand?
I don't know. We always make that decision at the end.
All right. Anything you want to say to people in East Idaho watching the trial?
I hope they have better things to do than watch this trial.
How does Lori feel about all this?
I hope they have better things to do than watch this trial. Number one, we can't watch it. Number two, we've been following this for almost 4 years. I think we deserve it.
Is she relieved that the death penalty is off the table?
Yes, that's a major relief that the death penalty's gone.
Less burden on you guys, right?
Yes. That's a big deal for a defense lawyer to get rid of the death penalty.
Death penalty. Okay, they took it off the table. So she'll live in prison until she dies.
Has the state offered?
Which is actually what happens on the death penalty, because either the state doesn't execute them and they stay on death row until they die, or it takes forever to execute them.
For you guys any deal?
Well, we talked a lot about agreements, but we weren't able to reach one.
How long do you think the trial's going to last, Jim?
Well, at least another month.
Another month?
Oh, look, it's Jason. Is his name? Is that his name?
Is he going too fast, slow?
I'm sorry?
Is justice going too fast or too slow on this case?
Well, yeah.
Has she any comments about seeing Kay for the first time in a while?
Nope, I don't know her personally, but she's a nice lady. Yep. No problem at all.
Lunch every day. That's what we want to know. When it comes.
Well, we're not going to do.
I don't think there's many. Maybe it was in shoot, where was she just in jail? What county? What are they having for lunch?
Do lunch over a Winco tomorrow, so I don't get attacked by you guys.
What does Lori have for lunch? Is Lori lunch here as well? Or?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably have a bologna sandwich downstairs.
You get a bologna sandwich. You thought you was out of jail, so you wouldn't be eating that one slice of bologna and 2 pieces of bread.
Winco's better than that. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff. She seems to lean to you a lot or look over to you at a lot of things. You guys go over notes. You guys have built some trust, some rapport, obviously, over this several months.
I hope so. I hope she trusts me.
You guys objected.
If she wouldn't trust you, you wouldn't be representing her in court right now.
Today about the October 2nd shooting incident being admitted to the court. What's your thoughts on it?
Okay, that was that. Let's see. They have another one. Let's watch this one. Oh, yeah. John Pryor. Why is John Pryor at law trial, guys?
No comment. That is Chad Daybell's attorney. No comment.
No comment. That was yesterday. I wonder if he's in there today. They shouldn't have. Bruh. Additional photos show several preparedness bags found under the staircase that contained water, first aid, MREs, etc. So they really were preparing for the end of the world that didn't happen yet. Good. Day 2 begins. Let's see what they say just for right now, because court should be almost over. Photos shown of the master bedroom and the walk-in Detective, I don't know how to pronounce I don't know how to say that. Detective said the totally empty closet is what caught their eye. In another photo, a bedroom is shown, and detective states they could tell it was Alex Cox's room. Detectives found 2 Tyvek suits laying on the floor of Alex Cox's room. Photos of items found in the garage of Lori's apartment are entered into evidence, exhibits A through Q. Detective confirms all items were found in the garage except for exhibits E and F. Detective testifies that they found items inside plastic tubs. One item was a ghillie suit. It's a suit you wear if you want to camouflage yourself. Additionally, he testifies they found gun suppressors and silencers. The one that maybe tried to kill Brendan? In one of the tubs, they found a lot of ammunition. If the world's going to end, what you need ammunition and guns for? A rifle was found on the garage floor. Are you trying to get ready for the zombies? The end of the rifle was threaded for a silencer or suppressor. There was another rifle inside of a black bag. Photos shown of knives that were found in the garage. Next, a photo of a handgun that was found in a tub in the garage. They also showed a photo of a creepy Halloween mask. Rope and duct tape were also found inside the bag. Next exhibit shows documents detectives located inside the garage. The documents are printed out emails from Chad. 3 books written by Chad were also found, as well as a cell phone. Oh shit, you done left a frickin' phone. Appeared to be a white iPhone. Detective states their next step was to contact the FBI. They were trying to reach Lori and Chad and also locate JJ and Tylee. Detective says they contacted Chad and Lori many times, but their cell phones were turned off. At this time, they did not know Lori and Chad's whereabouts. Detectives were able to speak to Lori's older son, Colby Ryan, and eventually they listed JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan as missing persons. They also set up a tip hotline through FBI and Rexburg Police Department. Detective testifies that the public was asked for help in December 2019, but no public tips helped them locate JJ and Tylee. He confirmed that Lori never reported her kids missing. Detective confirms that Lori was ordered to present her 2 children to the Rexburg Police Department, but she failed to do so. Eventually, detectives were able to use cell phone data and tips to determine that Lori and Chad were in Hawaii. Detective states that investigators traveled to Hawaii. They assisted the Kauai Police Department with the search warrants for Lori and Chad's rental vehicle and rented condo. The police department performed the searches. The detective confirms that there were no signs of JJ or Tylee even having been there in Hawaii, and they still do not know where they were. He says the last proof of life for Tylee was a photo taken September 8th in West Yellowstone. Detective states that last proof of life of JJ Vallow was a photo taken on September 22nd, which shows him sitting on a couch in Lori's apartment. Lori was led into the courtroom with leg shackles that were locked to the floor, so she can't leave the courtroom. Detective retakes the stand and is shown photos of the Jeep involved in the attempted shooting of Brandon. Photos of the Jeep Wrangler showed the rear view with Texas license plates as well as images of the interior of the vehicle. Detective is shown a photo of Tylee Ryan at Yellowstone and a photo of JJ sitting on the couch in Lori's apartment. He confirms he saw those photos in Lori's iCloud account. No objections from defense on these exhibits. Y'all, this defense don't have a case. Like, she's screwed. Detective testifies that during the course of the investigation into missing JJ and Tylee, he learned of Tammy Daybell's October 19th death. He also states he learned of the incident in early October when she was shot at. On June 9th, detectives states they executed a search warrant on Chad Daybell's property. They entered the house and went upstairs to Chad's room. He was still asleep in bed and asked if he could get dressed. Chad went down to the kitchen area with investigators. Chad asked if he could contact his attorney, who wanted to speak to a detective but was referred to the prosecutor's office. Chad asked if he could stay during the search. They said yes, but he would be accompanied by an officer. Chad's other kids were allowed to leave. Law enforcement involved in the search warrant of Chad Daybell's property included FBI, Fremont Police, Rexburg Police, Idaho Attorney General's Office. The detective confirms he assisted with the search. Detective states that Chad Daybell sat in his vehicle during the search and he was looking off to the right intently. Law enforcement positioned themselves to see what Chad was looking at. Objection for speculation when he attempts to further elaborate on this point. Do y'all remember when Chad was in the vehicle watching them search through the rearview mirror or wherever he was using, and then Lori just happens to call and he's like, they're searching the yard, the property, and she's like not giving a care in the world. And he's like, do I need to call? I forgot what her attorney's name was that got fired. Do I need to call him? Like, she was just cool as can be, and Chad was like freaking out. Do y'all remember that? Detective again confirms that Chad Daybell was looking over his shoulder. When he observed where Chad was looking, it was towards the tree and pond area. That's where they found JJ. Detective says he observed activity in the area by the pond where Chad had been looking. While they were sifting through the fire pit, there were a lot of people going towards the pond area under the tree. He was called over to assist in that location. So Chad just gave himself away sitting in that vehicle. Are you crazy right now? Detective is shown a Google Earth image of the Daybell property. Images entered to assist jury with understanding the layout of the property. Defense bizarrely objects to this exhibit, saying the detective can't verify an aerial view of the house since he walked the property. Wow, whatever. It looks the same. Detective states there was a 4x2 area where the grass looked different than the rest. The area was marked off and prepared for excavation. He observed the top layer of soil being removed, which exposed 3 large white rocks. At that point, there was a strong odor. Oh, wow. Under the 3 large rocks, there were 2 pieces of wood paneling, which were removed. Once these panels were removed, the soil looked moist compared to the dry soil above the ground. The soil was brushed away carefully and methodically. Once the moist soil was brushed away, they observed a black round object. It appeared to be a plastic bag. After scraping away soil, it began to take the shape of what looked like a hand. They continued to dig around the burial site and eventually exposed what appeared to be a small body wrapped in black plastic. A sharp instrument was used to cut the plastic open and expose a piece of white plastic underneath that. A slit was made in the white plastic, and they saw brown human hair. Around this time, they were informed that Chad Daybell was leaving his daughter's residence at a high rate of speed. He was pulled over and taken into custody. The body was removed from the burial site and placed into a coroner's vehicle and driven to the morgue by Fremont County coroner. Fremont County, that's what I couldn't remember. And a deputy. They went back to the Daybell residence to assist with further excavation. I cannot speak. After returning to Daybell property, attention turned to the pet cemetery area of the property, where there was a statue of a dog, which the team had already begun excavating. Detectives observed the team digging and locating items of interest. I still want to know what they found in that shed, that barn. Detective states they all got down on their hands and knees to start digging, but each person was only able to dig for a few minutes at a time because the smell was so bad. They began to uncover charred remains of what would be identified as Tylee Ryan. Detective, we began to recover bits and pieces of burnt flesh, charred bone, which appeared to have been placed in a green bucket. The flesh and bone was kind of stuffed into the melted bucket. They had to take turns digging because the smell was so bad. Wow. Once it got late into the evening, they chose to secure the scene overnight and return the next day. The search resumed on June 10th. They went back to Tylee's burial site and continued to excavate and get all the parts and pieces they could. Oh my God. I just can't see them doing this. Like, I can't see Chad doing this. I could see probably Alex doing it. Susan Ryan from the prosecutor's office informs the overflow room attendees that some of the more difficult evidence in the case is about to be shown. This must be where she has her breakdown. Chad Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, is spotted in the overflow viewing room. He has been attending the trial each day, but refused to speak when JLR encountered him on the street yesterday. Photos of Chad Daybell's property taken on the day of the search are entered into evidence. A photo of the front of the house is shown. JLR viewers saw the house last week when he went live from the property. Let's see what this is.
Good afternoon,
Well, this is
everyone.
49 minutes. Yeah, we're not listening to this. Sorry. Okay, next scene. Photos of the property and burial sites are shown. The white rocks can be seen in one photo, and the next photo shows these rocks removed. Detectives states it was at this point they started smelling human remains. Photos shown now is of the moist soil he mentioned earlier, and black plastic can be seen poking through the soil. Next photo shows the black round object, which appears to be a crown of a head sticking through the dirt. Detective is using a pointer to show the black plastic cut through which revealed a layer of white plastic and brown human hair. Next photo shows a black bag in the shape of small human body. At this point, they removed JJ and placed him into the coroner's vehicle. Another photo shows the empty burial site after JJ Vallow's body was removed. And then they go to lunch. Hold on, I missed it. Oh, look, they got more pictures. Okay. Detective is asked about his 15-hour of intermittent surveillance of Chad and Lori Daybell being between approximately November 1st to November. Detective says he only saw them once on November 1st and not again after that. And this is a picture of, oh no, I did that. Let me see. This is a picture of the detective and prosecution, I think. Oh no, I got out of the Twitter thing. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Where is y'all? Drama at the Lori Vallow trial. Lori allegedly had a mental breakdown during the lunch break, and her attorneys are now trying to get the court to waive continued presence for the courtroom for the afternoon testimony today. Detective is talking about his interaction with Chad, Lori, and Alex. Lori told him that JJ was with Melanie Gibb in Arizona. He says Melanie told him that was false. Based on this and other lies, Detective got a warrant for Lori's apartment. Detective states they received hundreds of tips about Tylee after her disappearance, and they followed up on every tip. He says no when asked if he thought Lori actually owned any of the guns or weapons that were found in the apartment garage. Defense attorney John Thomas asked detective if he knew where Lori Vallow was on October 19th, the date Tammy Daybell died. He answered yes, she was in Hawaii. Detective states that the search of Chad Daybell's property was planned for weeks. He said he has worked with FBI, Homeland Security, and served warrants with them in the past, but never anything of this magnitude. Thomas is questioning detective about how he could have known what direction Chad Daybell was looking if he didn't see his eyes. This is in reference to detective stating earlier in the day that Chad was seen looking over his shoulder to the right in the direction of the pond. Detective testifies that he was searching the fire pit for only about a half an hour when he was called over to the first burial site because something was found, and all efforts turned to that area. Judge interrupts John Thomas's cross-examination of Detective Ray to announce that court will adjourn for the day, starting again tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. 7 minutes ago. So court is over for day 1 and day 2, and Lori had a whole breakdown. I wanted to show this picture the whole time. Is she having a breakdown to delay trial? Is she having a breakdown because she actually sees the crime scene photos maybe she's never seen before of how they were buried and I don't want to say disposed. That's not the right word to say. Buried and burned. So anyway, this is day 1 and day 2 of the Lori Vallow trial that I read. Subscribe to JLR Investigates. That's whose tweets I was reading. And thank you for watching. And I hope you have a wonderful day.